Hey, Michael, I guess what were you working on today?
Um, Really, I just thought about it as like a conditioning the body type of day. I did my best I want to compete so bad, and I did my best to not get into that kind of state of mind. Um, just because obviously I say, I'm exactly where I need to be coming into camp with my knee and all that stuff, but I didn't get to throw as nearly as much as I would have liked. So like I just told David, I'm not trying to get into that mentality yet. So I just want to execute. I felt like I executed a lot of good pitches and I could have looked really good. The umpire balled me on a few of them to where it kind of went the complete opposite. But if he called some of those, what I thought were strikes, if he called some of them strikes, which I thought they were, then I thought I would have been walking out of there and feeling not just good physically, but good, mentally, like, oh yeah, feel great.
David Bell today talked about how you kind of have to approach things differently as a starter. Can you describe just the differences in your approach?
Yeah, I think I have to go into the season with my skill ready to roll. And I think that that's one thing that I'm learning more and more is I come in and I'm super excited about the off season that I had and the work that I put in. And I want to show everyone how hard I worked. And I come in and my bullpens, I'm throwing 97, 98. But then the season starts and my skill isn't where it needs to be. And so the past 2 years when I've been, gone through some really bad stretches, and last year, probably the worst stretch of my career, it all came back down to the skill and being able to throw each pitch where I'm used to throwing them. And so I feel like that's the difference for me. And it's more of a maturity thing of like, okay, if I can get if I can get that skill and I'm throwing my fastball where it should go, I'm throwing my slider, I'm landing my slider in the place where I usually want to land it, my curveball chain, all that stuff, then I can start adding on, the velo and add those things. And it's a little different for me. And that first inning felt pretty awkward. Actually, even though there's fans in the stands, it was so quiet and it felt really awkward. And I was almost moving too slow. And talking with Jagers, it was like that second inning, we felt like that was the right pace for me to work on my skill and still pitch really well and my stuff to do good things. So it's kind of just getting a feel for it.
When you talk kind of like easing in, what percent were you at today?
I mean, I saw some 90s up there, so I would say 90%. No, but it really feels honestly, it feels really low. Like there wasn't any spike in adrenaline whatsoever today, which I was actually pretty surprised about. And I just think that goes to show like where my mind was at. Like it wasn't, I'm not ready to tap into competitive mentality yet. It's just I think for the betterment in the long run for where I want to be at the start of the season, it's better for me to kind of do this. And it's not, doesn't feel good to the ego, but all that matters is when really April 1st, it's all that matters.
Is that tough at all? Just knowing you're trying to win a spot in the rotation, to not try and impress everyone right away, I guess.
It is tough. And I've told him you've seen me throw for 6 years. So what I have, what I have to offer. There's a pretty large sample size with what the hitters do to my stuff. If you're relying on spring training to make a decision, it's pretty foolish. And I don't think that that's what they're going to do. We're a lot better than that. And, with DJ and David, they're really smart. And so they're not going to make that decision based off of this. So they had the belief in me to make, 2 starts in do or die situations late down the stretch. I don't think they're going to make a call based off of spring training numbers of whether or not I'm in the rotation.
How freeing is that? And how much does that give you confidence going into this, knowing that you have that kind of confidence in the people making that decision, that you don't have to try to impress them in this short spot.
Yeah, I mean, it is freeing, and it does take some sample size too for them to be able to trust you. And so it's like you got to build that up as well. And I feel like I've built that up pretty well, and the sample size is pretty large, and you know what you're going to get from me. And you know, the question isn't, you know, if my stuff is good or if I can get hitters out. It's, you know, can he do it for 150 to 80 plus innings? And that's really the decision that they're going to need to make. And I can. And so I'm not trying to come in and yeah, but it is freeing, because I'm really happy with who we have leading us and where their mind is at. And the ability to trust that is pretty freeing.